I'm going to show you how to write an artist statement from beginning to end. I'll cover what's required in an artist statement, how to get started brainstorming, what terminology to use, the structure and format of the statement, and how to do edits and refinements. I always like to start with an old artist statement. Often there's stuff that I can take from the old one that I can use again. I'm going to use two different statements because this one does include information about my materials. We're going to get rid of the stuff that's not relevant. Oh, I guess this is not very helpful. I'm getting rid of all of it. This statement is about artwork that I completed in 2012, picked up again in 2022, and started working on again for a grant application. Actually, I think I'm going to start from scratch. This is not helpful. It's actually more confusing. Okay, so let's just do the structure. I'll talk about drawings initially completed in 2012. There should be an area about materials. I'm just going to throw down some keywords. Transparency, shrouded, which is the title of this work. Ethereal, hiding. I'm just doing a dump. I'm not trying to actually structure anything. I'm just going to list the supplies and all of the scraping tools. Trying to get really specific here. It's not just etching ink that's been used, but it's been smeared and pushed across the surface. That's not really the drawing process as much as it is there to enhance. One word that really describes the scraping process in my drawings is excavation, which apparently I don't know how to spell. Also layering. The technique I use is cross-hatching. Instead of layering, let's say multiple layers. I also need to keep track of word count because the maximum is 300, minimum is 200. Okay, that's only 64. I got a long ways to go. There is a geology. Oh, that sounds stupid. My pet peeve is when people try to put in science words in artist statements. That's not always bad, but it always comes across as pretty shallow unless you're an actual scientist. So here I am doing the exact same thing. The layers, it's more about, well, you're not really building because it's not all additive. So let's write additive and reductive drawing process. Let's talk about visual look. Whenever I approach a statement, I imagine that the person reading the statement cannot see my work. They have to be able to get a sense of what the work actually looks like just from reading the statement. It's not just transparency, it's also opacity that fluctuates. I should put my contact information as well, and I'll label Utah Artist Fellowship. For a body of work, it's important not just to talk about single drawings, but how they relate to each other. I'm going to write down what all of the drawings have in common. These are all portraits. Always want to put your title in italics. It's really good for the first sentence to sum up everything as simply and succinctly as possible. You don't want to go into the specific right away. I'm going to call them scraped portraits. I feel like if I write portraits, that doesn't sound very interesting. Let's talk about how they were initially completed. Let's start with in 2012. Give a timeline. I'm going to describe what they used to be, which is self-portraits. They're about my personal experience with depression. I don't want to use experience again. And the violent emotions that accompanied that experience. Well, I don't like that. I don't want to use experience twice. At the core sounds a little pretentious, but core is actually what it is. Maybe surrounding makes it sound like the emotions are around the depression, but the violent emotions were a result. That's it. Result. I should say they're initially. These drawings were initially self-portraits. I need to say a little bit more, but I think I want to get out the timeline better. 10 years later, that sounds better. It sounds longer. Instead of just saying scraping, I'll say aggressively scraping. Good to have descriptive words. Instead of just saying the surface of the drawings, the inconsistent surface of the etching ink. Inconsistent sounds a little weird though. Not textured. It's not really textured. It's more thick, uneven. Oh, that's better. The imagery explores. I always use the word explores though. The imagery portrays a wide range of transparency and opacity, but I need to tie in transparency and opacity into the subject because visually I have those qualities, but the transparency also has a lot to do with the theme, a dramatic range, which also ties into, I don't like ties into. I'm going to just write the dumbest thing, which is also a metaphor for the portraits. Okay, that sounds super stupid, but we're just going to leave it. We're going to do the easy stuff first. I'm just going to talk about the materials. The hard part is the theme. I'll describe the surface. The Duralar is crazy strong, and that has a lot to do with how aggressively I can scrape. It's not really rigid. It's more highly durable. Sand by hand. That's important because I did not use a sander. I did try one, but it didn't look as good. I liked how uneven it was. Textured and translucent. Atmosphere. I like that. Textured and translucent atmosphere. It's not create, it's establish. Because the sanding is actually where I think the drawing process begins. That's not far off base to say that I'm creating atmosphere with the sandpaper. Oh, I should just say that. Okay. I scuff up. That's better. More specific. Smooth surface, the plastic surface. I scuff up the plastic transparent surface. Establishes, this creates. It's not really create. Creates too simple. In which an atmosphere emerges. An atmosphere, a translucent textured. What was I saying? Established? Emerges as the, it's not really a foundation. The space? No, that's a little confusing. Let's just do space for now. Immersive space. Is that pretentious? I'm just going to leave it for the figures to exist within. Okay, it's a little bit wordy, but I'll come back to it. Etching ink is smeared. Instead of just saying smeared, smeared by hand. That's the specificity you want. Smeared and pushed would be better. Something a little more aggressive. A more sculptural experience. Trying to get specific about the tactility of it because etching ink is super tacky. It's like drawing with tar. The etching ink is a visceral experience. I want to make sure I have the right definition of visceral. Relating deep inward feelings rather than to the intellect. Physically, no, I want something tactile. The ink is sticky and thick like tar, which makes the drawing experience more sculptural. However, we're trying to relate the etching ink to the scraping. I consider, that's better, various knives and blades. Using various knives and blades, the drawing process becomes an excavation where I am digging deep. I feel like I'm spending too much time on this part. I'm avoiding the hard part. I don't want to just say excavation. I already used aggressive. Bold? It has to be a little bit more negative. Let's look up thesaurus. Let's just do aggressive. Belligerent, it's not like that. Violent, I already used that. Vigorous, maybe that's a good one. Rigorous excavation, that's good. Where multiple layers of cross-hatching are scraped on top of each other. I feel like I'm using the word scrape too much. I'm just going to write scrape for now. The crayons are used to enhance. Using sharp tools, let's say that instead. I use a range to add delicate layers to show flow, to contrast against the chunks of etching ink, to create more movement, more fluid movement. Check the word count. I'm hitting the minimum, but I'm going to need more. I haven't talked about the subject yet. I don't like metaphor. That sounds really dumb. I need to talk about the dynamics within the body of work. I'm just going to say this in a super dumb way. Talk about how some drawings are very opaque and the face is hidden. In some drawings, the person, the figure, obscuring most of facial features, most of the face. I feel like I'm using the word transparent too much. Showing glimpses of the face. I don't like this sentence. This is stupid. Been working on this for 40 minutes. I should not have waited until 3 hours before the grant application. I have been brainstorming. Portraits. Initially, these were self-portraits. They're now about my relationship with my children. A little personal, but that's exactly what these are, and I can't avoid talking about it. I'm just going to say it in a dumb way. My desire, it's not really desire, but endless quest. Okay, that sounds super dumb. I'm just going to write it in a dumb way, and then I'll fix the words later. Barriers? Ugh, that's stupid too. Metaphorical barriers? Portray the barriers, the emotional barriers. That's better. Is it my children and I? Or is it me and my children? As my children have grown older, they are hiding more from me. I see them hiding. This is starting to read a little bit like a play-by-play, which I don't like. I'm only allowed. Allowed is very important because it talks about how they're the ones who are in control of what I'm allowed to see. I need to talk about how sometimes they hide the emotions, but then other times they can't help but let them be on the surface because they're so upset about something. I need another word for emotions. Intensity, that's a good one. That's it. They're not just emotions, they're most intense. Should look for a word for upset. Stress, agitation, worries. It's not really worries. I'm talking about distress. Let's use distress. This is the definition I'm using, a thing that envelops or obscures something. I don't think it's really protective though. Preemptive, what they're feeling inside. Oh, that sounds so bad. Which obscures their moments of distress. Oh wait, I already used distress. How they're feeling. So much of the artist statement is writing really dumb things and then fixing them. I find that easier than trying to find the right word right away. What they're experiencing, what they are going through. Gauziness, I need to add that word somewhere. A gauze, a protective gauze. Gauzy texture, envelop the face into a cocoon. That sounds super stupid. But it sort of is. It's like their protective place. But then does that mean cocoon and shroud? Nah, I don't want those to be the same thing. I'm going to write something really dumb and cliche. But it really is how I feel. I just feel like I need to say it in a more intelligent way. Envelop and bury their faces. I would do anything to take on their pain. I would rather go through middle school myself again than to watch my kids go through middle school. I would give anything to take their pain away. See, that sounds really, really cliche, but let's just write it down. I'm going to use buried up here. Envelop their faces. It hurts me more. Oh, that sounds so bad. Sometimes the shrouds are fluid, have fluid movement, while others are ripped up and torn, ripped up, ragged and torn, torn and ragged, ripped up and ragged. I like ripped up. Oh, I'm using sometimes way too much. That's really the worst thing is when you feel helpless with your kids. You want to help them so much, but you can't in so many circumstances. Maybe they won't let you. I feel helpless because they won't let me. Check the word count. Maybe this is too long. Helpless. Let's come up with a better word for that. I don't feel weak or feeble. It's more, you just feel like you cannot do anything. The materials, when you talk about them, should only be like a third of the statement. You want more of it to be the content. Blades as a desperate but fruitless attempt. The drawing process is intertwined. Pfft, that sounds really pretentious. Deeply scraped. Buried. I need a better word for buried because I like buried, but I'm using it too much. Conceal, hide, engulf. I don't know another word for emotion. Represents, symbolizes. Oh, that sounds really pretentious. These drawings, oh, I should end with this. These drawings are no longer self-portraits. Oh, that sounds powerful. They have transformed over this period of time. These portraits are no longer self-portraits. They are now my children. It's a little bit blunt, but where I can still see glimpses of myself. I'll get a better word for glimpses. See fragments of myself. Traces. Oh, traces is better. Through this process, a translucent textured atmosphere emerges. Sculptural and visceral. I want to use visceral. Let me look it up again. I want to make sure I'm using it right. Deep inward feelings. Okay, here we go. Visceral sliver of what they are going through. Reflected in my materials. About my visualizations is too wordy. About my personal. The drawings breathe now. The portraits have an airiness to them. An ethereal quality, which has shifted their purpose, which has transformed their meaning. Meaning sounds, let me look up meaning. I hate something else. No, I don't want meaning of thesaurus, the word. Purpose? I'm going to look up purpose. Maybe that's objective. Intent? Okay, one more time. Done. That's it. It took about an hour and 45 minutes. It really could use way more, but the grant is due in 2 hours. So I'll work on it more. Like if I apply for another grant, I'll spend more time on it. I always like to open the PDF because you never know. Tell me in the comments, have you had to write an artist statement before, and what was that experience like?